What I do think is interesting is the show does push these social issues.
Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today, we're taking a look at 10 instances of TV hosts being sacked for avoidable mistakes.
I know people say, I miss you on television. What is your next move? I'm figuring that out.
Meltem Günay. News anchors drinking hot beverages on air is nothing scandalous. However, rather than use a channel-branded mug, Turkish broadcaster Meltem Günay displayed her Starbucks cup on air as she anchored TGRT Haber in 2023.
Milli Savunma Bakanı Yaşar Güler, Irak ve Suriye'nin kuzeyindeki terör hedeflerine yönelik başarılı hava harekatları sonrasında operasyon...
At the time, due to allegations the coffee company was supporting Israel during its war, supporters of Palestine were boycotting the brand.
Before the siege in Gaza, Starbucks was full 24 hours a day. Now, as you can see, there's no one.
Seeing the famous logo on their screen during the news, viewers interpreted Günay's cup as a subtle hint of her support of Israel. TGRT responded by firing the award-winning Günay and the show's director, stating the newsreader broke its rules by advertising a company on its programming. Bill Grundy. Due to Queen pulling out at the last minute, in 1976, the Sex Pistols were brought in as a guest replacement for the UK's Today Show, hosted by Bill Grundy, and was set to go out live.
Just let us see the Sex Pistols in action.
He was incredibly hostile to the group, showing little respect for them and seemingly hitting on the band's female entourage.
Always wanted to meet you.
Did you really?
Yeah.
We'll meet afterwards, shall we?
You dirty son.
In response, the Sex Pistols used insults against Grundy, some of which were curse words that went against the pre-Watershed rules, as it was broadcast in the early evening. After outrage grew in the aftermath, Grundy, on top of having his unprofessionalism called out by executives publicly, he was suspended for 2 weeks. However, only a couple of months later, Today was canceled, and he was unemployed.
I'll be seeing you soon. I hope I'm not seeing you again. From me, though, good night.
Ron Atkinson. After success as a soccer player and manager, Ron Atkinson made a logical transition to broadcast pundit, becoming a fixture on ITV Sports.
He was in a job that's a very prestigious job. It doesn't come much better than being paid, maybe £1 million a year to talk about something you love, such as football, and be flown around the world to do it.
However, that career step was destroyed in 2004. At the time, Atkinson was working on the coverage for the Champions League semi-final first leg match between Monaco and Chelsea. Believing his microphone to be off, the pundit used a racial slur as he criticized Marcel Desailly.
I put the television on and just checked through the news headlines, and it was on there.
While it wasn't heard in the UK, the comments were broadcast in the Middle East. Due to the massive backlash, Atkinson was forced to resign from ITV. In the years since, he's stated he was only repeating what other managers had said and was fed up of apologizing.
I mean, all right, I resigned, apologized. I can't do any more than that.
Jimmy Snyder. In 1976, after making his name in sports betting, the man better known as Jimmy the Greek was hired to work on the NFL Today alongside co-hosts Brent Musburger and Phyllis George.
How about Denver at home now against Houston? Well, Denver's at home and they've got Elway. We'll go with Denver.
The sometimes rough-speaking Snyder crossed a line with George, but it was other ill-chosen words that brought his career to an abrupt end in 1988. While being interviewed for WRC-TV to celebrate Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday, Snyder made several controversial comments.
There, CBS sports commentator Jimmy the Greek Snyder gave his impressions of blacks in coaching in the National Football League. His answers could raise as much controversy as the statements by former Dodgers executive Al Campanis last April.
One included him claiming that black people were better athletes due to breeding practices during the slave trade. Yikes. Days later, CBS fired Snyder, and he apologized for his words. In 1991, he sued the broadcaster for his dismissal. However, Snyder lost the case before passing away in 1996. Don Lemon. In 2006, Lemon made the jump to CNN after being a regional reporter.
I understand that, but
why would we not want a solution? Why would we not want a solution to this?
We do want a solution. I want you to answer my...
to provide a way
that happened today. That's what the judge decided. Please answer my question.
He rose up the ranks, eventually getting his own show, Don Lemon Tonight, from 2014 until 2022, and then co-hosting CNN This Morning. Trouble started when Lemon began making several misogynistic comments, such as defending the pay gap between men and women athletes. Oh, and claiming Nikki Haley could not be in her prime because women are only in their prime in their 20s and 30s and maybe 40s.
Prime for what?
It depends. I mean, it's just like prime. If you look it up, it'll. If you Google when is a woman in her prime, it'll say 20s, 30s, and 40s.
Ew. In 2023, reports came out about earlier instances of misogynistic comments and abusive behavior to colleagues, which the news anchor denied. Regardless, CNN dropped Lemon, forking over $24.5 million in a separation deal, and Lemon began investigating independent career options.
Connie Chung, one of the most famous news anchors in the U.S. during the 90s, Connie Chung's career with CBS came screeching to a halt due to not one, but two incidents in 1995. First, she asked then Speaker of the House Newt Gingrich's mother, Kathleen, what her son thought about Hillary Clinton.
And I can't tell you what he said about Hillary.
You can't?
I can't.
When Kathleen didn't answer, Chung stated it would be kept between them. Instead, the insult Gingrich whispered about Clinton was clearly heard.
She's a bitch.
Then, when covering the Oklahoma City bombing, Chung was heavily criticized for patronizing questions toward firefighters.
And you believe that by the end of tonight you'll be able to save as many people as you can and continue through the night and tomorrow morning?
But we're going to continue our efforts throughout.
As such, she was removed as co-host of CBS Evening News, leading to Chung departing the network and subsequently joining ABC News.
Alec Baldwin. In 2013, the first episode of the talk show Up Late with Alec Baldwin aired, which featured the actor chatting with folks about current events and the arts.
The challenge of making movies, the joy of making a masterpiece, the iconic actors who starred in one of the greatest movies of all time, tonight, Up Late.
However, a month and 5 episodes later, Baldwin found himself in hot water in New York City. The actor was recorded getting out of his car and shouting homophobic slurs at a photographer who got too close to his family.
Get away from my wife and the baby with the camera!
Immediately, Baldwin's show was suspended for 2 weeks, and he apologized for his words. Then MSNBC canceled his program. In an interview with Gothamist, Baldwin bizarrely blamed the decision on the fundamentalist wing of gay advocacy.
Bill Maher. Known for getting himself in hot water on more than one occasion, no controversy was as catastrophic for Bill Maher as what he said in 2001.
He made this infamous comment less than a week after 9/11.
When hosting Politically Incorrect, as he had for 8 years, one guest was Dinesh D'Souza, who stated that the perpetrators of the September 11th attacks were warriors. This sparked Maher to agree, then go a step further by claiming the U.S. were cowards for attacking with missiles thousands of miles away.
That's cowardly.
Maher's comments resulted in sponsors withdrawing from Politically Incorrect. The show struggled to keep going with the financial hit, leading to its cancellation in 2002.
Chris Harrison. If there was a Hall of Fame for reality TV presenters, this host of The Bachelor and its various spin-offs would have been there.
The path we're on right now, we can't continue.
At least until 2021, when Harrison ruined that scenario during an interview with Extra. Interviewer Rachel Lindsay asked the host about contestant Rachel Kirkconnell, who was discovered to have liked racially charged social media posts and attended an antebellum South Plantation-themed party. Harrison went on a long-winded rant defending Kirkconnell.
The woke police is out there, and this poor girl, Rachel, who has just been thrown to the lions.
Various contestants from his many shows and the fans who watched them condemned Harrison's defense, who later apologized for his comments. He was suspended by the franchise, as guest hosts stepped in before he was fully let go.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Phil Donahue.
I think we brought a show to daytime television that they always wanted, and no one gave it to them, and we got lucky. And
Perhaps the most influential talk show host of all time, Phil Donahue is known for hosting The Phil Donahue Show, which ran for 26 years from 1967 to 1996. The program is widely credited for being the first talk show to engage directly with audiences. In 2003, his MSNBC show Donahue was canceled. However, a leaked internal memo suggested that Donahue was fired for his public anti-Iraq war sentiments.
I couldn't get over the unanimity of opinion on cable. The drum was beating. Everybody wanted to bomb somebody.
It was stated that Donahue would be a, quote, difficult public face for NBC in a time of war, and his program, quote, a home for the liberal anti-war agenda.
I just felt, what would be wrong with having one show a night, say, hold it, wait a minute, can we afford this?
Donahue later suggested that his firing came as a result of General Electric, the defense contractor that owned MSNBC at the time.
You see, GE owns Kitchen Oil of Colorado, which in turn owns JMI of Stanford, which is a majority shareholder in PokerFastLane.com, which recently acquired the Scheinhard Wig Company, which owns NBC.
Have you ever caught a live TV flub? Let us know in the comments.
Nobody's going to call Donahue and tell him to shut up and support the war. Nobody's that foolish.